Welcome back to Biashara Tuesday. This is Techvoice, and for the first time we're outside, and if we're outside, it means we used some means of transportation to get to where we are, and that's why on this very episode we're focusing on mobility and a new piece of technology that is in the space of mobility, unlike any other that has been brought to us by Brandon Gugi, who has joined me here to help me explain and understand exactly what he needs to achieve or he desires to achieve with this piece of technology. Yes, as you said, I'm Brandon Gugi. I'm CEO of Brand Electra. I work with a lot of technology that focuses to bring sustainable mobility to human beings wherever and whenever to improve our nature of lives as human beings. Right, and what do we have here? Yes, here as you can see we have a piece of technology. It's raw technology, a bike, a mobile bike. Its main characteristic is high durability and sustainability on the roads, whether shared or personalized. Right, now the first thing that I saw with this bike is that it doesn't seem to have a chain. How does that work? Well, as you can see, normal chains have brought people a lot of problems over the years. You can see people who have chains on their bikes, exposed chains, they experience a lot of greasing and ripping problems from damage that can be mechanical or from falling and otherwise. So this bike offers an aluminum casing which covers the chain system. It's not a chain system as such, it's a gear system that has a shaft and that changes on one variable gear. Mm-hmm. Yes. Right, and at the back there is a fitting for a solar panel. Is that meant to do anything in terms of how the bike lights up or how it powers itself? Well, the solar panel, as you can see there, is for your safety as the rider. I think many bikes, they fall short for just using reflectors, but you know, we want a bike that you can use during the day and at night. So that solar panel there charges over the day. As soon as dawn breaks or the evening comes in, you'll see that it will light up. Mm-hmm. Yes. So this is a very good step in the space of clean energy. It is. Right. Now, in terms of how it operates on the road, how are the speeds like? How is the durability? Is this a strong bike as compared to the other ones that we see on the road? Well, when you take the bike in hands, you'll see there's a very slight weight to it. Yes, it's an aluminum framework that is built for mainly hard conditions and sustainability in terms of rugged roads, potholes. The wheels itself do not need maintenance. They are actually rubber tires that have been strategically put in such a way that you will never need to inflate or deflate. So you do not need to pump the bikes at all? Never will you need that. Whether you get stuck on a nail, you step on a nail, you step on wood, whatever, it will still continue moving in the same way and you will not need to maintain it. Right, and it has a bit of a small carriage at the front. What is the capacity to it? Well, the normal bag or school bag, I think you cannot start vacating on a bike. You would use vacating services for that, yes. Right. Yes. Now, what is it that you want to achieve with such pieces of technology that, as you said, you are focusing really in the space of mobility? Now, with this bike that we have here, what first of all do you need to or desire to achieve? Well, as you can see, Okanya, technology itself brings a certain luster of making life easier for you and for me. And in a space such as this, big institutions, big environments, they require people to come together in speedy movements. Some people need to go to a place very quickly, and vehicles are not accessible to everyone, as you may know. Yes, and short distances are not practical when you start using a vehicle from class A to class B. So this comes to solve the problem of the last mile. And the last mile is from where do you commute from to where your office door is. That is what we are solving here. Right, so if this is availed to big institutions, as you said, how do you want that to operate? Well, as I can see, like as institutions such as this, such as any institution, schools, big universities, big embassies, they usually come together in an institution, and as administration, they find ways to suit the flow of their transport, the people that they need to transport from point A to B. Right, shared transportation seems to be a very key point in this piece of technology, or this bicycle to be specific. How is shared transportation going to work? Well, in this case, Mr. Okenya, to make critical mass productive and also effective, we need to offer solutions that encompass you and me, regardless of situation, stature, whatever. Yeah? So in this particular point, these bikes, they have a system that is implanted in them, a tracking system. This comes from station to station. So a bike you'll find is manned in a station A and a station B, depending on the institution's need for mobility between locations and students or workers. Yes. So you'll find that we have stations. You place one station, maybe 10 bikes or 100 bikes. Yes. And a station B also has the same number. So when a person moves from a station A to a next station B, he'll find a place to place the bike. As soon as you use the bike and you've reached your destination, your work with the bike is done.
Right.
So you need to leave the bike there for someone else who will require the use of the bike.
Now,
and that is where the shared mobility standpoint comes in.
In terms of responsibility, how do you, is there a means to ensure that these people are accountable for the bikes when they're sharing them from one station to another? I move from station A, I leave it at station B. How do you know that, how do you ensure that as Richard, I have made sure that I left it in the correct manner, or when I picked it, I was the right person to pick it at that time?
Well, we have started developing applications for that, but for now we'll use manned labor. For you to, when you take the bike, you leave a certain bit of a credential somewhere or something there, and it will have your name and your rating. Of course, if you're, everyone can monitor you as the way you ride your bike inside an institution or elsewhere. I think when you bring a damaged bike, it should be assessed by this person at the station that you've brought the bike to. So that's also a standpoint for employment opportunity.
Right, and I see this is something that can be appealed, especially since recently in Nairobi they are trying to introduce the BRT buses inside the city and limiting public transportation inside. And I feel like this is something that can be helpful in large cities. Any thought about that?
Yes, we're actually planning to roll out on cities like Nairobi and any city that comes into the encompassing rapid transport system that has been in development, as you can see. And I think this can be solving the problem of the last mile in the same way you park your vehicle, you go to a train station, you ride to the train station. Yeah? So to the station, you will get, walking would be a bit tedious if you're busy or you're tired, because this is solving the problem of fatigue before arrival.
Right.
Yes, it's a short-term travel option. Yes.
And also solving issues of traffic inside the cities, because if you can leave your car elsewhere and just pick a bike that you can leave at a station and never even really have to follow up on it,
yes,
it would be a really good solution.
Yeah, you're getting the drift now.
Yeah. Right, now, anything that we are looking towards the future from you, or anything in the space of mobility in terms of the technology, especially such as this one, into the future?
Well, this is a stage one. I think this is the manual bikes. We are also rolling in electric bike options, electric scooters, electric motorcycles and vehicles as well, because we are moving into the electric age. As you see, fuel in itself is not a green energy option, and so we are moving into the space that you'll see a Mobike such as this, but with electric motors that can serve almost up to 100 kilometers and beyond. Yes, on a single charge. So you can have a vehicle that takes you all the way from here to Mombasa without needing to plug it in. Or you can plug it in whenever you feel like, as you sleep, the same way you do your phone.
Right.
Yes.
Now, you have so much passion in this space of mobility. Any last observations that you have, and any improvements that you feel like are necessary in that space?
Well, I believe the most challenging part of this is how you view it yourself, the persona behind the mobility. You see, if you keep a culture of a certain way of movement and you be rigid inside it, you will not be able to see the expanses and the possibilities of having new technology facilitate your movement forward. Right. So mostly you can see the only problem that might arise here is a problem that is a persona non grata. Right. It's inside you, it's not outside there. So in this case, I would like people to embrace all these technologies that are coming in, because they will make life simpler and more efficient for them, and as well as cost effective, because the bikes we're bringing here will not need maintenance for over 5 years. Yes, compared to even electric bikes and battery solutions, they will take longer than servicing your vehicle every week.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much for having this conversation and of course for bringing this new piece of technology to us here on Techvoice. We hope that when you bring the electric scooters and electric bikes, we can be able to be the first ones to have a sample of it.
I think we will arrange for that.
All
Yes.
right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Sustainable mobility refers to sustainability in the world of transportation in the sense of social, environmental and climate impact. Now, courtesy of Bran Electra and Brandon Ngugi, we were able to review the Mobike, which has very interesting features. One, it does not have an exposed chain just like the rest of the bicycles we're used to. It has a tracking device which enables it to move in large populations from one station to another, which maintains the security of this bicycle. Now, the spokes are non-existent as we're used to the other bicycles, but we have instead parallel bars that are fitted in the bike's tires. Now, these tires themselves do not need regular pumping, and that reduces that urge of regular and continuous maintenance of the bicycle. What are other forms of technology that you know that we can have them reviewed here on Techvoice? Reach out to us on our social media pages at KUTV Kenya. My name is Richard Okenye. Catch you in the next one.